my accountant said I made a profit this year, but where is my cash? This would have to be the number one question I get asked by every business owner and entrepreneur. I'm profitable, but where is my cash? So when assessing the financial performance of a business, most people always refer to profit. I mean, accountants and business gurus always tell us that profit is the indicator of financial success, right? Well, the problem with looking at profit is that it's not the best indicator of your financial performance. In fact, it can be very misleading. So why is that? Well, it's because profit is not the same as your cash flow. The difference between profit and cash flow can be explained by the movements in your balance sheet. Your profit is skewed by accounting adjustments for the treatment of certain types of expenses, like capitalizing assets, as well as changes in things like your working capital. Now, this is particularly common for e-commerce businesses because most of your cash is tied up in inventory. Inventory management is by far the most critical aspect of running a successful e-commerce business. Inventory management is a science. It takes data and an acute understanding of the market to get the balancing act of inventory purchases just right. You see, if you carry too much stock, your cash becomes tied up in your business. These funds could otherwise be used to fund the rest of your business. This cash flow problem can actually be compounded if your product is perishable or depreciates quickly, as it loses value each day you hold on to it. In a worst case scenario, you could be left with no cash and no product. On the flip side, if you carry too little stock, you might run out and you will have nothing to sell to your customers. Of course, this will cripple your future sales, as your revenue is hamstrung until you can be restocked. Measuring metrics like stock turn and inventory days is an approach to help you manage this fine balancing act. You can calculate your inventory days with the following formula. This metric helps you understand how long your inventory is sitting in your warehouse doing nothing. Now, the goal here is to make your inventory days as low as commercially possible. It's like a game of golf. In essence, the lower the inventory days, the faster you're converting your inventory into cash. Average inventory days vary between industry and really depend on the product type and business model. For example, companies that sell perishable or fast-moving products, like food, will have a lower inventory days benchmark than businesses selling non-perishable or slow-moving products, like cars, for example. So what can we aim for? Well, let's start with what's world-class. Tim Cook, the CEO of Apple, famously quipped that inventory is fundamentally evil. You want to kind of manage it like you're in a dairy business. If it gets past its freshness date, you have a problem. In other words, irrespective of what you sell, you should treat your business as if everything has a shelf life. In 2017, Apple's average inventory days was a mere 11.18, an enviable figure given that the benchmark for consumer tech is 30 days. So if your inventory days are higher than the benchmark, consider ways that you can reduce them. Now, as a rule of thumb, if your inventory days are around 30 days, you're doing pretty well. If it's any higher than that, explore ways that you can reduce them by being more strategic with your purchasing decisions. Remember, lower inventory days result in more cash. It's one more goal as you strive for operational excellence. So the next question is, how do we do that? Well, obsolete and slow-moving stock are the culprits behind bloated inventory balances. These are the products that have become dated because a newer, shinier version has been launched in the market. This is especially real for if you're a business subject to trends and seasonality, like fashion, for example. Now, there are a number of methods to identify obsolete stock. You probably already have a gut feel for what needs to be written off. For a data-driven approach, generate a stock report from your inventory management system and filter the data to identify the last sale date. If the time period from your sale date to today's date is greater than your inventory days metric, assess whether it can be sold at a discounted price, or at worst case, just written off completely. In order to manage your inventory, we recommend using an inventory management system that integrates to your accounting system. Now, this will take a lot of the guesswork out of your inventory control. Selling obsolete stock may have an impact to short-term profit, but that will be offset by the long-term benefit as your carrying costs are eliminated and immediate cash flow is realized. Ignore sunk costs.